Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash, Yogi, Ms. Z. Mbongi, Dr. Firmi Bodo, Mr. Kulukani Umkis, Mr. Sayon Niyogi, Mr. Kiran Singh, Mr. CPWM Juno, distinguished guests, online viewers, namaskar and welcome to day 3 of the Heritage Festival of Virasat Parwa, with the theme being Heritage of Hard Work and Experimentation. Indeed, to commence today's program, I would like to invite our first guest speaker, Ms. Z. Mbongi. Ms. Z. Mbongi is a poet and actress in South Africa. Namaskar, Sabona, and welcome, ma'am, for your remarks.
My name is Z. I am a poet. My topic is heritage and cultural dance. Ngiyayithanda kakhulu le topic because iyangithinta nami as a poet. 24 September, it's our Heritage Day, whereby we celebrate our culture through music, traditional dance, and traditional food. Kubalulekile for us to know who we are and where we're coming from. And cultural dance, for me, there must be a story behind it for us to understand about culture. As we all know, Uguti, like South Africa, we are referred as a rainbow nation because we are made up of so many diverse cultures and religion. And okunye, for me, cultural dance isiza ekutheni developa ama skills ne communication kubantwana. Mina-ke as a poet iyangithinta kakhulu because siyazi ukuthi osonkondlo bawumgogodla wawo bonke ubuciko. Dance, music, food, even pictures are part of poetry. So mina lolu suku lubaluleke kakhulu because ngikuphethe konke as poet. Ngithanda ukubonga nje kakhulu ithuba nibe nobusuku obuhle. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you so much, Ms. Z. Mbongi, for your deep, insightful remarks today on the third day of the Heritage Festival. Next, joining us from India is Dr. Firmi Bodo, an assistant professor, Center for Study of Social Systems, School of Social Sciences at the Jawaharlal Nehru University in India. Namaskar and welcome, Dr. Firmi Bodo.
Namaskar to all. First of all, I would like to thank Swami Vivekananda Culture Center at the Consulate General of India, Durban, which is organizing such a wonderful, heritage festival, and in association with the Institute of Social and Cultural Studies, India, African Heritage Collective, and KZ and Department of Arts and Culture. I would also like to give my regards to Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogiji for giving me this opportunity, giving me this platform to share my views on this very important, very interesting topic called hard work, heritage of hard work and experimentation. I was told that I will basically focus on the northeastern part of India. And when I say northeastern part of India, which is although known as popularly known as the Northeast India, but I always take it as the Eastern India. And we all of you know that is comprised of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Tripura, covering an area of about 260,000 square kilometer, and it always remained a part and parcel of greater civilizations of this India. And unfortunately, the region has been viewed as a very isolated part with no geographical and cultural continuum with the rest of the India from a very long time. And due to these, people of these regions were often being misinterpreted and branded as primitive or savages, enemies or godless or no religions, and written with the same perspective with the native academicians too. And whereas the fact is the regions was the homeland of various kingdoms, leaving their respective rich culture, religions and traditions, having independent administrative system, and developed trade relations with the neighboring regions for a very long time. And most of actually such disabilities just happen of mine, I would say rather, from a certain historical and legacy factor, which have hindered actually the growth of this part of India, and issues here in this part of India, northeastern India, are seldom covered with mainstream praise, and it is confined to the pages in the region or the occasional supplements on the region, except for, of course, the insurgency stories. And the Eastern India has its multifaceted potentiality, and one of the most underrated and least explored regions of the country. And the region has a very interesting social, cultural, ethnic, and linguistic diversity with more than 200 dominant ethnic community. I am here deliberately not using the word tribal, and many sub-communities, and that reflects the the complex social structure of such ethnic communities. And this is the only regions in India where foreign invaders fails to rule and occupy. And this is why most of the culture, if you see the lifestyle of this part of India, of these regions, thankfully, maybe it was a blessing in a disguise that able people of this kind regions able to preserve their heritage till now. And many parts of these regions and communities is widely live in hilly terrain with their own village council and village administrations. And all of that the people of hilly regions lead a very simple lifestyle but full of hardship, living as understandably that the fertility of the soil in the plateau and hill area is quite low. But the people have used the available resources to survive through the ages. And while most traditional livelihood and sustainable development model in these regions are fighting against, always kept fighting against those annihilations with their backs to the wall. And there are those that have withstood the ravages, and novel survivable and livelihood strategies have always emerged in response to new challenges. Yeah. And there are studies which reveals that the traditional communities have developed always been developed a very close proximity with the nature, and which and this nature, the plants, the flora and fauna, which having medicinal properties within the ambit of traditional wisdom, and which actually give that how people of this region, although having those geographical challenges, and because of this prolonged contact, access experiences, and as well as trial and error method, it actually enhances the development of local healing practices of various diseases and ailment among the various local people of these regions, which may be residing in the every nook and corner of these regions, where maybe till some of the parts where modern healthcare system reaching is quite challenging in some way. And the regions always been enriched with the biodiversity is the place where many plants grow in abundance due to the the climatic atmosphere, and those have given a kind of medicinal utilities, and intimate connections with the environment, with the nature. And then understanding of nature is more visible if you visit those places. You can find it, and this give the developed mindset, and how they by living among the nature have developed, in spite of having those challenges they overcome every day with this trial and error method, and it has succeeded a lot, and they have survived throughout. And it has its own, if you explore, if you do the research, you find out that it has its own development of a vernacular architecture that has evolved through the ages, and is sensitive to its local climate, inhabitants and materials, as the environment has been always remain an integral part of our lifestyle. And sustainability and its development have always remained issues of utmost importance. And we know that the topography and ecology of the hilly plains and hills have influenced almost every spheres of life of the people. And the lifestyle of the people living get reflected in the traditional art forms through the representations of the local games, hunting or agriculture, and various style like fishing style. There's interesting cultivations which you must have heard about. This called chum cultivation, which is known as a shifting cultivation, and is practiced mostly by the inhabitants of the this part of India, which is generally carried out in areas where flat and land is not available for plow cultivations. And chum cultivation is the predominant land use system in this upland area. The society here, has always, as I said, close relationship with the nature, with the forest, managements of community resources, you can find is very essential for deriving long-term benefit without even disrupting the ecological balance. And it includes all such resources, like community pasture, forest, village ponds, rivers, institutions, infrastructure, all this, etc. And community resources plays a very important, significant role in, having those people's livelihood in these regions have to have a better lifestyle. And the community of this area is attached more, and they live together as a community, mostly on the basis of community resources that available around them, and local knowledge or traditional science, you can say, plays an important role in their this livelihood system. So through these kinds of livelihood they live, you can find the kind of the laborious people, give you a kind of laborious and hardworking nature of the regions. And another thing I would like to hear is talk about is about the the local skill, the indigenous skill and the expertise and technology they use, that has been maybe and needs a basic understood on the basis of modern technological interventions in the society. And the hill community have managed the hills without degradations, despite having their shifting agriculture for untold generations. And the forest lore and knowledge of the community is marvelous. And if you visit any village area here, you will find a basket full of carrying a variety of tender leaves, shoots, tubers, flowers gathered in the forest. Although there are some people who say the people here are very lazy, that is why they are not grow for the today's vegetables like which is found in the in a more developed regions. But when forests offer such succulent and tasty greens that could be gathered so easily while going to collect firewood, so they usually don't bother about all other insipid vegetables maybe for them. And this aesthetic aspect of culture implicit can be visible in the graphic art, woodcraft, decorative basketry, fabric embellishment through woven motifs and design. Oral literature, dance, song, and music constitute the moving spirit of culture among the most communities of Northeast. And the craft making of here is rich and comprises textile weaving, woodwork, pottery making, mask making, can and bamboo products. So metal craft, these are very exclusive to some, here in some specific community of these regions. And all of you have heard about the Assam maybe, which is famous industry. So these are examples, how peoples, by utilizing those resources, in spite of having the geographical challenges, they have able to prove their potentialities. Although I believe that it needs more attention to that in the present scenario. And beside the role of a woman in shaping the culture of the regions, from domesticity to the contributions in small-scale industry to freedom movement of the country, was always remain a very significant. Although we might not read all those in the I'm just using this word mainstream syllabus, and not people that is why mostly are not aware about, and they remain ignorant because of flaws, and I would say rather in the system sometimes. And there are some communities where you can see that how men and women enjoy the equal opportunities and status. These examples give you the the wisdom, the knowledge that people has been practicing from a very long period of time. And I would say that apart from the strategic locations is different climatic conditions with regions having maximum rainfall, or being the wettest place in the world, with the associated with so many varieties is plants and animals influences the life and culture people of these regions. And geographically, Eastern India is destined to play, I believe, a crucial role in the coming days in shaping the Indian nation, especially eastern part of the country. And society in that part, this part that has been always a very egalitarian society where poverty and a class distinctions did not influence a man's social status to a very great extent as they do in the modern setup might be. And the impact of new plus introductions of new social instruments, however, maybe can affect the egalitarian nature of the regions. And it has also almost somewhere maybe might can transplant egalitarianism with the bureaucratic setup, I would say, full of class distinctions. But people of these regions display very always been display very conscious commitments to their culture and their heritage, their territory, even now. And this commitment, I would say, that must not be interpreted as a sheer, backwardness. And at the end, I would, that is actually points that I wanted to share with all of you, that the people here of this, the land, by their, trial and error method, by practicing a different culture, and mostly their engagement, close proximity with the nature, has given a different kind of wisdom and traditional knowledge, which still remains somewhere, intake. And I think through their we ourselves, or whom we call so-called developed, they can come and should explore those traditional knowledge. Maybe it can give you a doorway, or a gateway to the existing problems that are we facing in this modern era. So thank you so much for giving me this platform, for giving me this opportunity, that I can able to give you a bit of, or a glimpse about this part of India. I hope that I have made some sense or justice to the theme that you have given to me. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that very deep insights and those very knowledgeable remarks on the occasion of Heritage Day of South Africa. Next, we will be showcasing a cultural performance on the heritage of South Africa. I'm so sure that you enjoyed that video, that performance as much as we did. Next, we will be having remarks by Mr. Kulakani Impiz, a visual artist based in South Africa.
Hi guys, my name is Kuliani Mkize. I'm a visual artist and a co-founder of Faces Water Art and Design. My work challenged the presentation of human identity in my community. I'm more interested in gestural figures in space and the choices that people have in the space they occupy. In the most of my work, I use oil pastel, but it depends on the message of the work that I do. As you see, the work behind me. In this work, I was trying to celebrate a woman figure because I was raised by a single parent, which is my mother. If you see this mask, it's a symbol of a traditional doctor, a healer, and if you see this drops of the drop of water, it's a symbol of a star, which is go with the metaphoric sun or the metaphoric moon behind this figure of a female, which has the colors of gold that reflects on our bodies and our skin. And this sun or a moon, it's something that records our daily lives. As you see at the back here, you see a woman, people dancing, the cattle, cow, people fetching water, and so on. There are too many things you see on this metaphoric sun at the back, because it's a source that records our daily lives. And my other work, this work, it's a reflection of me as a boy, as a young boy who is working very hard every day to find himself as a man or a young man. If you see this barcode on this work, it's a symbol that shows that we are a brand. We are a brand of something. Like we are now educated, and our education makes us better or looks better than the life that we were living before, or our parents were living before. As you see at the back, this danger tape covers the whole sun, the whole gold, the whole world that we left behind. As you see in this sun, there's all the designs of our homes or our houses, and there's a kettles, people dancing, like celebrating our life at the back then. So we are now forgetting about that because we are a new brand now. We are educated. We need to be. We need to look better than before. And this one is also a oil pastel work. I mean, it's also an oil paint work, because the whole tree is oil paint. Because I'm talking about a serious matter, because we know that oil paint is it's a very strong medium that's present a strong feeling or a strong setting of something. Yeah. So in this world, I'm talking about the world of Corona. As you see, our young brothers, our future brothers, our future president, who are sent to school in these hard times. Yeah. So this artwork, to me, is an awareness to the globe that we are all equal. We need to preserve the responsibilities that we are given, or the what is this word? We need to follow the guidelines. So yeah, that's all about my work. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Kulikani ji, for those remarks. Next, our guest speaker is Mr. Sayan Niyogi, the Corporate Services Director of the International Water Institute, India. Namaste and welcome, Mr. Sayan Niyogi, for your remarks today on the Heritage Festival, with the theme being Heritage of Hard Work and Experimentation. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you so much. So I want to thank Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogiji, Director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center and the Consulate General of India in Durban, South Africa, for inviting me to speak on the heritage of hard work and experimentation on this third day of Virasat Parv Heritage Festival, Umcimbi, Wamagugu. Please don't mind if I haven't pronounced it properly. I thank all the other speakers and the esteemed guests and the audience who have also joined online. So namaste, everybody. You know, I think this the topic of heritage of hard work and experimentation fits very well in the context we are speaking in, both from an Indian and a South African context. I was reading, you know, as a basis for you know, just I was thinking, like, what does the OECD report say about South Africans and Indians in terms of hard work, because they do produce a report on that. And both the countries are in the first top 10 countries in the world, which shows the culture of hard work that we have. And at least 11% of the population works more than 60 hours a day. Now, this is only for a section of the employees who are registered. So when we look at the whole population, we may have a much higher number. So both the countries have a very strong culture in terms of hard work. And all our like our gurus and pasts, we have always had a very strong focus on the aspect of hard work. Like Swami Vivekananda noted, that dreams cannot never become a reality without hard work. And if you read his statements, hard work remains the key in most of his books and speeches. We can only attain the highest in terms of what we want to achieve through hard work and nothing else. Now, as a nation, I think both as a nation, at least in India, there's the recognition of hard work is becoming more and more important. Like recently, most of the awardees of Padma Bhushan and other national awards have been people who have come from very humble background, who have done unthinkable things just based on hard work, not smart work, but hard work. That's what is being more and more recognized. So, for example, we have the example of Dashrath Maji from the village in a small village in Gaya, a very small-time agricultural laborer who worked for more than 30 years to cut through a mountain to build a road. And he was called the mountain man because of that. He's just an example of the type of hard work that our nations have been built on. Then we have the example of the Padma Shri awardee of Salamurda Thimakka, who planted more than 380 banyan trees and building up almost a forest. All these people of very humble background have come up and done things which are unthinkable. And we cannot leave experimentation while just talking about hard work. And in both the countries, experimentation at a national level and at local level is very much there. Like, for example, in South Africa, the experimentation of social justice that has happened over the last last decades or so are something which people couldn't even imagine of. And then in terms of India, the things that have been done in the country, like, now the best example is on vaccination. The support for experimentation in the medical RD sector is showing results. And very recently we had the report on innovation, which shows that India has jumped almost 40 places in the last few years in terms of innovation. It just shows that the country has started releasing the wild energy that it has inside, and the culture of experimentation is coming out. If people go to the management colleges, there is a concept called Jugaad, which is taught as a subject. And basically what the Jugaad culture is frugal experimentation. It just shows the level of innovation that our people have. Like, I don't think anybody, like any of the motorbike manufacturers, ever thought that their engines can be used as a boat engine or as a water pump to pump out water, underground water. Like, I work in a research organization which researches on global irrigation. And when I go down to the field, I see use of water bottle, like plastic water bottles, in so many ways, which I don't think anybody would have thought of. Like, it is used as a pipe connector, as a drip irrigation machine. The motorbike pumps being used to pump out underground water or for irrigation purpose. It's just fascinating to see the level of experimentation and hard work that these countries have. So from a perspective of the future, which the countries are already doing and the governments seem to be taking the lead in, that is releasing this culture of experimentation that we have built inside us, and allowing the hard work to help us to go to the next level. Based on the results that we see over the last few years, the way things are moving, it just shows a golden way ahead. Now, in terms of myself, I've been working more than 20 years outside the country in different parts of the world, and currently I'm based in Colombo for the last 6 years. I see the hard work and experimentation that the Indian community brings to the different part of the world. Even here in Sri Lanka, the type of work that the community is doing to help Sri Lanka in its growth. So thank you again to all of you for allowing me to speak in this event. Thank you. Namaste.
Indeed, thank you so much, Mr. Sayan Neogi, for that deep insight on the third day of Virasat Parva, or the Heritage Festival. Thank you so much, sir, for taking time off your busy schedule and joining us from Colombo. Next, we will be showcasing a cultural performance on the heritage of India.
Welcome to the World Heritage Sites in India. We proudly present spectacular sites in India which have been included in the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites. These are located in 17 states of India. A magnificent fort in red sandstone built by the Mughal Emperor Akbar. Located in the city of Agra on the banks of the river Yamuna, It has some of the most interesting relics of Mughal art and architecture in India. Pattadakal in Karnataka offers interesting insights on an eclectic form of architecture. Western Ghats, or the Great Sahyadri, an ancient realm of the mountainous jungles, starts from the Surat Dung in the southwest Gujarat and ends at Kanyakumari, the southern tip of the peninsular India. The picturesque mountains of India have rail links that cut across the terrains of great natural beauty. The mountain railways of India consist of 3 railways: Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, Nilgiri Mountain Railways, and Kalka Shimla Railways. The development of these railways in the 19th century had a profound influence on social and economic developments in many remote parts of India. Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus is an outstanding example of late 19th century railway architecture. It is characterized by a combination of Victorian Gothic revival architecture with traditional Indian features. The Taj Mahal is the epitome of Muslim architecture in India and is a wonderful masterpiece of world heritage.
I hope you enjoyed that performance as much as we did. Thank you so much for tuning in for the Virasat Parva celebrations or the heritage celebrations with us over the past 3 days. With that, we've come to the conclusion of day 3 of Heritage Festival, with the theme being hard work and experimentation. I would like to invite Mr. Sipiwem Chunu from the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consul General of India in Durban to render this evening's vote of thanks.
Namaskar. Greetings to all of you. On behalf of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, I am honored today to deliver a vote of thanks on this wonderful program called Heritage Festival, Umcimbi, Wamagugu, under the theme Heritage of Hard Work and Experimentation. In Zulu meaning, igugu lokukhuthala nokufunisisa. Allow me to thank the following online guests who took part on today's program. Firstly, I would like to thank Miss Z. She is a poet and actress from South Africa, for her wonderful remarks about the need of hard work and experimentation. Ma'am, indeed, hard work, we all know it pays. You know, you have to work very hard so that you will benefit out of your hard work. To you, ma'am, ZG, thank you very much, ma'am. Secondly, allow me to thank Dr. Pirmi Bodo, an assistant professor at the Center for Studies of Social System School of Sciences at the Jawaharlal Nehru University in India, for her wonderful remarks that she gave this evening. And all our online guests, they agree with one another that hard work pays. You know, so we are charged now, and then we all now know that we have to work very hard, because there is nothing that will come in our lives without rolling up the sleeves and work very hard. So to Dr. Prima Bodoji, Danyavad ma'am, thank you very much. To Ukulegani, Mr. Ukulegani Mkize, a visual artist from the Republic of South Africa, to him, Gitimfetu, thank you very much, Siabonga Kulu, for taking part on this wonderful Heritage Festival program of heritage of under the theme Heritage of Hard Work and Experimentation, meaning igugu lokukhuthala nokufunisisa. Siyabonga kakhulu Kabazela. Okshilo today, it means a lot to us. I promise you, we will try and work very hard. Thank you very much, sir. Lastly, allow me to thank Mr. Sion Niyogi, a corporate services director at the International Water Institute in India. Sir Niyogiji, thank you very much. Sir, you mentioned lots of things that people are doing, you know, trying to experiment, even things that you cannot think of. But people in the field, they are trying to use. That is called experimentation, ukufunisisa. So to you, Sayonji, thank you very much, sir. We had everything that you said this evening. To all the cultural performers, I like to say thank you for taking part on today's program. We really enjoyed your performances this evening. Sibonga kakhulu ukuthi nithathe ithuba lokuthi niperforme namhlanje. Siyabonga, siyajabula ukuthi nibe nathi namhlanje today. To Director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Srishti Harinarayan, Sri Kiran Singh Danyavat, for taking part on this wonderful, wonderful program called Heritage Festival Umcimbi Wamagugu. To all our online participants, we'd like to say thank you very much, Danyavat, for taking part on today's program. Kindly visit ICCR in Durban Facebook page for all updates. about the cultural activities organized by Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center in Durban. Once again, to our online guests, Miss Ziji, Pirimiji, Kuleganiji, and Seonji Danyeva. To all of you, have a wonderful evening. Namaskar.